Well, let's look at the fifth and last module of the Dealer Services RV Technician Apprenticeship Program. This is going to deal with exterior systems. Now, this is kind of a capstone. It's got a lot of different components that make it up. And so we put all of this together because so much of what needs to be taught and so much that needs to be learned from a technician standpoint might not necessarily be something you would take all week to learn. So what we've done is we've combined a lot of this material. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. I want to walk you through some of the different systems that you'll see, whether you're a technician coming to class or you're a dealer tech or dealer manager that's sending one of your techs to class. Okay. Well, the thing about it is you have to realize now this is a classroom and hands-on lab. There'll be a lot of material that we're going to send home with them, troubleshooting sheets, check sheets. Many times if you know the sequence of operation, you can do a lot of troubleshooting. But if you're out here just troubleshooting blind because you don't know exactly how it works, it's so frustrating. And you spend more time learning about the system as you try to learn how to troubleshoot it, but then a lot of times then you do the troubleshooting piece of it. And it may be weeks or months before you see that other component or see that same unit again. And so it's very frustrating. So when you come home with the manuals, you come home with the check sheets, cheat sheets and things like that, it makes a world of difference. So whether we start with the roof and get all the way down to the axles and the leveling gears and the slide outs and things like that, the thing about it, we can do it. We can do it if somebody would just show us how, okay? There is a course prerequisite. We're going to require that the technician that comes through this, he and she must have either one, have taken the RV maintenance course, which is the core, the foundation class. It's a 5-day hands-on course, and they would have, and when they completed that course, then they could have gone ahead then and taken their RVDA, RVIA registered exam. So a lot of times that's what happens. The guys will come to us, take the first class, get their certification, are the registered, and then they'll come back for these advanced classes. There'll be some of you that'll come to us that will have taken the home study option, which is basically a recording of all the RV maintenance classes that we did over a 5-day period, that we recorded in a period of a year. We took the best of the best, put them on a USB flash drive, so that way somebody said, man, I can't come that week, but I want to try to get ready to come to the advanced classes. So they'll have an opportunity where they'll buy the home study option, and it's like I say, plug it into their computer, see the information. I mean, it's just like being in the classroom because the cameras are there shooting everything, and then of course they will take an exam at the end of it. And then there will also be those individuals that will come to us that have got some experience in this business. Maybe they've never really had a time or had an opportunity to come to class so they can get their certification. So they've got a lot of knowledge, but they need to be able to document it. They need to be able to validate that they really understand it. So we'll talk to them about their career experience. We'll talk to them about past training, and then also they will take an exam because we've got to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they understand, because we don't want anybody slowing the other techs down when we get them to class here. It's so critical that everybody's moving along. They'll be partnered up with another technician, and they'll be working on things together as a team, two of them, and it's very, very important that one is not carrying the load and the other is just kind of logging them behind, okay? So it's critical that they have that experience and they can pass that exam as well. We'll be looking at slide out systems. I mean, whether it's the Swintech with the small rails or cable and pulley systems, or the hydraulic ram and components, or the electric screw. All of these are things that technicians need to be aware of. They need to be able to walk up to that motorhome, that fifth wheel, that travel trailer, or even that slide-in camper, and totally understand what they've got to do to get this unit back where it's functioning like it's supposed to. There are troubleshooting labs that are set up here. What I really enjoy, particularly on the hydraulic system and the Swintech system, is having working models, so that way they can see it, take it apart. It's cool that you've got these hydraulic rams that have got cutaway, so you can see inside the tube and see the flow of the hydraulic fluid, or what they're doing with it, how they're moving it to move that ram in and out and raise the legs up and down. So part of the exam that they will be doing, it will be troubleshooting these things, doing diagnostic and showing how to override. They'll have procedures that they'll be given to them, so they'll have some little cheat sheets. When they come back, they'll know what they need to do to make it work. Okay. Then we'll look at leveling systems. Right now, LCI has got probably a majority of the market. And so we'll be looking at the LCI leveling system, the 6-point systems, even the one that's dealing with the electric screws. And so all of these electric leveling jacks, there's controls, there's procedures, there's techniques, and we want to show them things there. Also have the troubleshooting lab so they can troubleshoot it. These are the same kind of problems that they would see in the real world. We have them here so that way they can experience them. When you've got bad modules and you can put them into the circuit and have them troubleshoot it, it's just like if a customer would come in the door and their unit was acting up doing the same thing. It's amazing when you have a little hands-on experience, hands-on knowledge, how quickly you can pick up on when somebody comes in and has a problem, how you can fall right back on that knowledge and utilize it. A lot of diagnostics. They need to understand how to override, and so these procedures are all provided for them. So when they come back, they'll not only have head knowledge, but they'll also have manuals and books and literature that they bring with them. So that way the next time they see it, they just pull out their sheet, their troubleshooting sheets, and they've got them and know exactly where they've got to go in the test procedures. And what will happen is this technician, when they come back, you'll be surprised, but they'll all of a sudden become the guru in the shop, and people will be going to them want to say, hey, let me borrow that test sheet that you've got there. And so what will happen is this technician will be teaching others. Now, the ideal thing to do is to get those other technicians to class, to get them their certifications, to get their apprenticeship. But a lot of times, a lot of information is shared from tech to tech. And so that's what we want to do is we've got to pollinate these guys and get information to everybody as quickly as possible. We'll be looking at side walls, there's bonded laminated walls, the doors, the windows, and, what we call the stick and tin, the door locks and the hardware. A lot of this stuff you would think is common knowledge and everybody ought to know it, but surprisingly, people need to be able to take things apart, pull it and say, okay, so that's how they did that. And so unless you've been through one of the manufacturing plants, unless you've been heavily involved with it, you don't always know exactly how this thing was assembled. And so when you can see it stripped down naked, it really makes a big impact. So that way you can say, that's how they're doing that. And so those hands-on labs give them that. We'll also be doing some slide out adjustments because so many of these units, as we're driving down the highway, these slide outs get bounced and tossed around a little bit. And so many times those adjustments need to be made, and the technicians need to know how to do it without the pressure of that customer looking over their shoulder asking, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? And so having 3 service bays here at the National RV Training Academy makes a world of difference for the technicians to be able to learn how to adjust and set the situations and readjust the adjustments, the slide outs and things like that. We'll be looking at EPDM rubber roofs, the TPO. There's now the new PVC that's out. And so all of these roof systems need to be described. They need to be worked on. And so that way they also let them see the patch systems that they can use. Because you're going to have customers come to you that they just need a temporary patch just so they can get it home. And so, you need to be able to put that Eternabond tape on it. And so that way you can send that customer down the highway, without that roof being ripped off as the wind catches it. Then also, this is a good experience for those of the technicians that are going to be doing insurance claims work, insurance adjusting. So that way they can help these insurance adjusters to properly identify what the product is and what it's going to take to get it repaired and put it right according to the insurance policy that was written on that unit. Like I say, having RVs here at the campground makes a world of difference. It's one thing to have everything laid out on a table, but if you've got an RV with that component, with that roof or whatever, it makes a world of difference. With the observation deck that we have, where students can go up the stairs and go hang over the rail and see what's going on, then that way the instructor and maybe one other student can be on the roof, but yet the others can be close by to where they can see and observe what's going on that roof, whether there's sealant around the front cap and the rear cap or whatever's going on. It can be pointed out where the new students can learn by being part of it, as well as observing what's being done up there. So they need to sign up, because this is the 5th and final module that they will need, because when they finish this module, they'll be ready to take the RVDA, RVIA certification exam. And that is critical, because if we're going to build integrity in this business, we've got to make sure that we have qualified technicians working on these units, taking care of these units for our customers. This is the only way that we're going to get the technicians that we need for today, tomorrow, and down the road, because there's an awful lot of units running up and down the highway that they're going to need service work. And here's a chance for us to train the technicians of tomorrow. So I look forward to having them come to class. But like I say, the exterior system is the crown. It's the capstone for the whole 5 weeks or the 5 modules that they've taken with us.